Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure, where we still are exploring around, and today we go outside of Crossbell City into the outside areas. Let's start with Mainz. This is, I think, Mr. Hayworth's car. I dropped by the unveiling ceremony while I was delivering some septium to the city earlier today. The crowd was pretty hyped up over the reveal of Orcus Tower. You could probably get a great view of the city from the roof. That's going on my bucket list for sure. The miners have a day off, so they've been drinking since the sun came up. Why don't you join them for a round? Sheesh, the mine may be closed, but that just makes me busier than ever. Ah well, this is a business I chose to run. Wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy it. Just because the miners have a day off doesn't mean they can just sit around and drink all day. Whenever I have alcohol, I get hammered instantly and forget everything. What's so great about that? Can you believe they've been drinking since morning? How do you even do that? Well, whatever. They look like they're having a good time, so I guess I let it slide. You know, Chief, you were pretty dang terrifying yesterday. Alec ended up getting the same verbal beating that you usually give us. If you're gonna scold your child, you better do it right. It's for their own good, after all. You'll understand if you ever become a parent yourself someday. I'll take your word for it. It's not a parent's job to spoil their children. Being a parent seems pretty tough. I don't think you have visitors? No. Double no and triple no. Orcus Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Ideally, I'd welcome any technological advancement with open arms, but in this case, my feelings are mixed. I get the sense that every step forward leaves Mainz yet another step behind. My apologies, the last thing you need is this old man's rambling on your mind. At any rate, I suspect the trade conference will be an event of great historical significance. For the sake of all cross-balance, I hope Mayor Croix and Speaker McDowell represent us well. The mine is closed for the day. I'm sure you know what you're doing, but watch out for monsters if you plan on going inside. Ah man, Mom and Dad yelled at me again. All I did was to go to the back of a mine. What's so bad about that? There are monsters in there? Hello G, you got any spicy stories to share? Of course I don't. You really think I've got the patience to go around chasing skirts? You know, fun. Maybe Gans would have something for me. Something well in those beautiful bouncy bunny girls at the casino. Don't know, don't care. I'm bored to death here. My brother doesn't even have any raunchy stories to tell. I don't know that I have any either. Amy wouldn't be half as annoying if she just shut her trap for once. Why can't you just let me enjoy my day off? There's never a quiet moment around here once Amy and LoH get together. It's always nice when two siblings get along, isn't it? That being said, I wish we'd bigger less and help around the house more. Max is out drinking with Hoffman today. He works harder than the others, twice as hard even. I'd say he earned a nice day off. Well, would you look at that? Harold came to pay us a visit. Good timing. The last batch of stock I bought from him was starting to run low. Harold always knows just when to show up. I think I go ahead and give him a nice big tip at this time. Hi, Mr. Hayworth. Did you come to do business with Daddy? That's exactly right, Kimmy. I have a lot of goods for him to see today. I even brought along that Mishy plush you've had your eyes on. Wow, really? Hooray! There's nothing more uplifting than a child's smile. Yay, a Mishy plush! My husband forgot his lunch yesterday, so I went over to deliver it to him. And who did I find wandering the mine but Alec? I gave him a good scolding for not listening to me. Honestly, that boy, I told him 1,000 times to stay outside where it's safe. I'm worried enough with my husband down there every day. I don't need to worry about Alec too. Is it so much to ask that he listened to me once in his life? Probably. Apparently. Anything special here today? Nope. Nothing. Good. Then... Armorica? Well, I'll be. That scuffle of y'all was downright amazing. Suppose I'd expect nothing less from you and Embracers, though. Boy, my heart is still a thumping from watching y'all go at it. I'm hankering to see a fight like that again someday. Elkan is what we call an Armorican accent. It's a way of speaking that's been passed down for generations, but the only people who still have it are him and Donald. He's been trying to get rid of it, but I say there's no sense in trying to do that. It's a part of what makes him Armorican. Men worry about the silliest things. Yes, and so do women. Did you guys hear? The real Orcish Tower over in the city today. The heck is an Orcish Tower? Some kind of food or something? Can we eat it? No, it's just a really big building. They say you can see all of Crossbell from the top. Really? No way, I wanna go! Orcish Tower's been under that big curtain this whole time, so I guess it makes sense if they don't know. I bet everyone in the city was blown away when they finally took it off. So there's a super tall building in the city now, huh? I'd love to explore it someday. If I sit on Camille's shoulder, will it make me taller than the Orcish Tower? No. My lower back has been acting up lately. Being old's not all it's cranked up to be. Sooner or later I'll have to retire. Once that happens, I'd like to pass the store on to Jake. But no matter what I say, he's never shown even a speck of interest. I'm getting too old for this. All I want is to leave the store to Jake and retire. But that's not happening anytime soon, what with his total lack of motivation. Grams wants me to take over the store for him, but we'll talk? That sounds like a total drag. My big plan for the future is to move to the city and strike it rich. That's not much of a plan. I've got orbital versions of standard farming equipment these days. Orbital plows for tilling, orbital tractors for harvesting. Both are essential for farmers in this modern era. Because all we got here in Armorica are those worn-out manual ones. I'd love to have some newer models around, but when all's said and done, that's a luxury we just can't afford. The mother is not here of the other children. Salem is in the city. Wow, those bracer ladies sure are strong, huh? Arius might get the most praise, but those two can definitely hold their own. You guys are great too. Thanks for a fun show. I'm planning to ask Celia out soon. After coming here every day for a while, I think we're getting pretty close. Bet she says yes. Tomorrow I steal my heart. Tomorrow I pull the trigger. Foreign leaders from all over gathering together in Crossbell. Talk about an unprecedented event in state history. And this whole conference thing was proposed by the city's new mayor? Bold and innovative, just what you'd expect from the CEO of the IBC. The West Zemuria Trade Conference has finally begun. All of Zemuria's got their eyes on us. I wonder how it'll go. I was planning to go check out some more books at the library earlier today, but I forgot the highway would be heavily restricted on account of a Calvadian president passing through. Thanks to that, I didn't do anything productive this morning. It's enough to drive a man to tears. The travel restrictions have been lifted, so I try going to the city later. I can't go another day without checking out a new book to read. Just return the old books first, okay? So you'll be lodging up here for a while then? Yes, Gofan was very gracious in allowing us to stay in this room. I'm thinking of helping them out in the inn to show my thanks. That's a wonderful idea. I bet it'll be much easier to run this place with a third set of hands around. Oh, that's right, I came over to share this with you. It's my special homemade carbonara sauce. Just boil some pasta and you're good to go. You made this for me? How thoughtful of you. Stefan mentioned having some before. I've been dying to try it myself. I pitched some ideas on how to keep Armorica afloat to the chief yesterday. But to no one's surprise, he shot them all down and we ended up having the same old arguments again. Doesn't my father realize how much is at stake for a village right now? The chief vetoed every single proposal I brought him yesterday. Doesn't my father realize how much is at stake? Nothing good can come from blindly ignoring tradition in favor of reform. I know Derek's heart is in the right place. He only wants what's best for the village. But even so, we need to consider things carefully so that we don't lose sight of how this village ought to be. I'm willing to acknowledge that our community is in a difficult place right now. That said, we need to consider things carefully so that we don't lose sight of how this village ought to be. The arguments between Derek and his father become more volatile with each passing day. I'm always able to calm them down in the end, but things are quickly getting out of hand. It's worrisome to say the least. Hopefully we've already seen the worst of it. Wouldn't that be nice? Tangram Gate. President Rocksmith's limousine came through here this morning. Between preparing to receive him and redirecting traffic, we've been very busy today. With all those foreign dignitaries coming to Crossbell, the CGF has to be especially on its toes. President Rocksmith is known in the Republic as a man of the people. I wonder what kind of man he is behind closed doors. President Rocksmith has been securely escorted to Crossbell City without incident. We will continue to stay vigilant throughout the trade conference. This morning's traffic regulations made it nearly impossible to get through Tangram Hill. Then again, it was due to President Rocksmith gracing Crossbell with his presence. So I suppose it's alright? All the vehicles that couldn't pass through Tangram Hill due to the traffic restrictions have been rushing through one after another. I was sort of expecting this, but it doesn't make it any less busy. You can't talk about Calvert without mentioning the diverse melting pot of cultures they have. Eastern culture in particular has quite the impact on their culinary arts. There's a lot a cook like me can learn from all that excellent Eastern cuisine. Orcus Tower piqued my interest, so against my better judgment I came to Crossbell to have a look. Now that I saw that the unveiling ceremony, it's about time for me to head on home. Word is that the visiting dignitaries will get to see Archon Ciel perform tonight. I suppose that's a privilege afforded to guests of state. Boy, do I envy them. Man, I wanted to be on security detail at Michelin too. I've only been once, but the food at the restaurant there is amazing. Then again, Michelin is shut down while the trade conference is in progress, so I guess the place wouldn't be open. Oh well, no point grieving for the food that could have been when I got some in front of me right now. Commander Bale's promotion and Sergeant Major Seeker's transfer ended up happening around the same time. As a result, Tangram Gate doesn't have nearly as many women stationed here as it used to. I know there's nothing we can do about it, but it's still a pity. It's lonely without you and the commander around. Who am I supposed to gossip with now? Not to interject, but couldn't you just gossip with a male guardsman? Are you really this oblivious? Ladies can't gossip the way they want to with a man around, Lloyd. That sounds like a double standard to me, but at this point I'm too afraid to pry any further. Come back to the CGF as soon as you can, okay, Sergeant Major? I'll fill you in on all the hottest gossip when you do. I'm going to have a lot to catch up on when I get back. It's good to see you, Deputy Commander Douglas. Ah, the SSS, you've come at the perfect time. I was just about to take a briefer. Why don't you keep me some company while you're here? Pfft, knowing you, your idea of hanging out is probably a round of combat practice. As tempting as it sounds, I don't have time for my usual lunch break workout. That says a lot about how busy you are. Well, it's only to be expected, seeing as the main session of a conference is just 24 hours away. I intend to make sure our security setup during the proceedings is as infallible as it can be. But the factors to consider are constantly shifting. I need to meet with Commander Bales again tomorrow morning. She's currently in charge of guarding Michelin for the remainder of the day. Your concern is understandable considering how many heads of state will be in one place at Orcus Tower tomorrow. Though, no matter how hard you try to prepare, there's always going to be something that needs improving. Sure, but it'll be easier to rest at night with CGF taking the lead in things. Especially with old Thunderbolt Douglas back in that corner. Thunderbolt? It's been a while since I've gone by that name. That's what some used to call me before I was shipped off to a police academy. Thunderbolt this, demon that. I've never understood the fascination people have with these silly nicknames. They both sound fitting to me. Okay, that's enough of a teasing. As I was saying, we'll be going the extra circle tomorrow morning to ensure that security during the conference is infallible. Leave the strategizing to us. The SSS has its own duties to focus on. Can do, sir. Thunderbolt, that one takes me back. As I was saying, we're going to go the extra circle tomorrow. President Roxmer's limousine was guarded by a procession of escort vehicles. It was quite a spectacle to behold. I suppose the Republic could do no less for their leader. I was sweating bullets when we received President Roxmer's limousine at the gate. I get nervous easily, so I'm worried I might have totally screwed up my salute. Not that the president would care about some lowly guardsman, but jeez, that was way too much pressure for me. Wasn't he also the guy who got traumatized from the ghosts in the Moon Temple last game? And basically was put out of duty for a while? Alrighty, I'd better polish up my angling chops and make myself useful to the rest of the boys. I may as well be dead if I can't at least become a professional fisherman. No. 213, 214, 215. I'm giving my work 1000 practice casts before I bait up and get to work, just like I do every day. Exercises like this are perfect for building up arm strength and muscle memory. But Goddess doesn't smile on the lazy. To be an angler means to be diligent each and every day. How long has it been since I felt this alive while casting my line? Back in my younger days, I used to duel with my fishing gear on the line, like it was nothing. I gotta say, being on the ropes like this again actually gets me a little excited. And an aquarium for Wazzy's room. I don't think we have that yet. I don't think anyone is here. Oh, a big limousine. This is Prince Albert's private limousine. He is currently under the protection of Arius MacLean from the Bracer Guild, in whom I have placed my utmost faith. So one of our big shots is here. Be mindful that Prince Albert of Vermiferia is currently visiting the hospital. Man, though, we knew he was coming, and I still tensed up the second he arrived. I'm lucky I even managed a proper welcome. I ought to mind my manners while he's here. Can't risk damaging St. Ursula's pristine reputation. I had the honor of meeting Prince Albert of Vermiferia a little while ago. Being the ruler of an entire country, I just assumed he would be more of a high and mighty type, but instead he took the time out of his day to speak with a plain old nurse like me, who knew he was so personable. People say that the princely family of Vermiferia invests a great deal of time and money into healthcare. There's a reason the nation has the most advanced healthcare system on the continent. Must be wonderful to live in a place where illness isn't a constant looming worry. What's this? I might be getting a bit of a crush on the prince. My primary physician, Dr. Lago, is supposed to be out of town today. My checkup was with Dr. Sayland. She seems fairly young, so I hope she knows what she's doing well enough. Ah, do you smell that? It's almost therapeutic, don't you think? Dr. Lago is currently away on a business trip. I believe he's at an academic conference somewhere abroad. For the time being, Dr. Salen is heading the internal medicine department in his absence. But poor man, he was so disappointed that he had to miss the opportunity to meet Prince Albert. I'm accompanying my mother to the hospital today. There's a lot to see, so I think I'll take a look around while she's getting her checkup. There, everything's going to be fine. I'll be right there with you, okay? No, I don't want to get shot. Let me go home already. To think I was personally thanked by Prince Albert of Vermiferia. It's surreal after all the support his lordship has given St. Ursula as its primary sponsor. I'd say his visit thing was exactly the morale boost with stuff needed. His Lordship Prince Albert is touring St. Ursula with Mr. McLean today. If I remember correctly, they said they visit Shizuku once they're finished. They're probably doing that as we speak. Learning the truth about Dr. Günther this past spring was a shock I never could have predicted. It put me in the depression I couldn't shake even after Dr. Salem arrived to fulfill her new post. But you know what she told me? There are patients who need you, Lytton. Now isn't the time to let them down. It was exactly what I needed to hear. Ever since, I've been happy to follow her lead. Dr. Salem keeps me busy. Thanks to her, I don't even have time to feel sorry for myself. Not that I mind. I think it's just her way of looking out for me. So, Al will be coming here after his little inspection is over, will he? You think he'd be too busy for that, considering how occupied he is by that conference tomorrow? That never changes. Did she just call him Al? Could they be old friends or something? Wasn't it the story that she was somehow related to the royal family? I vaguely remember something like that. Has Chief Ursula slept in again, Chaleur? I wouldn't doubt it. She was holed up in the research ward until early this morning. What was she thinking? She knew Prince Albert's visit was today. His lordship is already here. Oh, never mind. Just drag her out of bed, and don't you dare let her wave you off. We receive a visit from the ruler of a sovereign's principality, and she's still off doing her own thing. I'm going to have a stern word with that woman later. Chief Ursuline has a bad habit of staying up until the crack of dawn to conduct her research. My guess is that she's still sound asleep back in her dorm room. Yeah, I think I previously said Chief Ursuline needs the night shift. I wish they'd let me go already. I'm so tired of these stinky little hospital meals. What I want is a nice juicy steak. The food they serve at this hospital would make any nutritionist happy. I'm surprised how much thought they put into it. No doubt it's contributed to how much progress I've made recovering from my surgery. You have no idea how much I wanted to go see the Orcus Tower unveiling today. Honestly, it feels like forever since I last had a time off. Nothing I can do about that though. I'm just gonna keep at it until I earn my next vacation. I doubt I'll even have enough time to stand in line for tickets to Arc-en-Ciel's new show with the hours they have me working. Nothing I can do about that. Cecilia is the kind of woman compassionate enough to make a meaningful connection with any patient. That's a rare trait even among our best. She was born with a gift, and this career path makes use of it perfectly. Put that way, perhaps it was the goddess herself who guided Cecilia into pursuing a career in nursing. Compassion can make a world of difference in caring for a patient. Cecilia is blessed to have it come to her so naturally. I caught Siron getting some sunbathing in on the rooftop the other day. She was lying there with a sheet she just dried wrapped around her like a cocoon. What's wrong with that girl? Why do I get the feeling that isn't the last time she's going to do this? The other day I caught the room wrapped in bed sheets on the roof, sunbathing. That dummy got them dirty again too. I should probably check in and make sure she isn't doing it again, just in case. That sounds more like she got accidentally wrapped up and was too embarrassed to say it or something. Dr. Salem is young for a doctor, but she carries herself with a cool, composed air of a long-time veteran. She's a perfect role model for someone like me. I aspire to be even the half a woman she is someday. If I want to follow in her footsteps, I'm going to have to start by following her example. The hospital's reputation's taking a heavy blow after that whole incident with your Achim. Even so, I'm a doctor. My responsibility is to my patients, first and foremost. So long as we keep our good faith close to heart, I'm sure the trust we've lost will return in due time. My colleague took time out of his busy schedule to come visit me. He told me not to worry about work and concentrate on getting back into fighting shape again. He has a point. I'm never going to be able to go back to my job if I can't get out of this hospital. I just have to put work out of my mind for the time being. Instead, I focus on recovering enough to check out of this hospital. I heard they finally unveiled that new building in the city today. What's it called again? Orchis Tower? I wish I could have had the chance to see all the hubbub for myself. Well, at least I have something to look forward to once I'm discharged. How are you feeling, Michael? I haven't a single spasm, Mr. Sear. I can barely believe it. That's great to hear. You're going to be discharged in no time. That means you'll be able to live with your parents again. Yeah, it makes me so happy, but kind of sad too. Once I go back to Le Mans, I won't be able to see you and Shizuku anymore. We have been fighting this together for a long time now, haven't we? I miss you too, Michael. But no matter how far we are apart, the bond we share will never break. That's how I see it anyway. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Seal. Thank you for everything. I'll never forget you. Now what do you say we make the most of the rest of your time here? That way you'll be able to leave St. Ursula with a smile. Yeah, I'd like that. I have to find a good way to say goodbye to Shizuku too. Oh, is that the SSS? Well now, isn't this a surprise? Prince Albert of Remiferia? And Arias too? I wasn't expecting to see all of you here. Your Lordship, this is the special support section I mentioned earlier. Yes, I gathered as much. It's a pleasure to meet you, ladies and gentlemen of the SSS. My name is Albert von Bartholomeus, though you may know me better as head of state of the Principality of Remiferia. I understand that all of you have been working hard for the sake of Crossbell's future. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Lordship. I've been hoping to have this opportunity, actually. Arias has told me quite a bit about your division. There's even a familiar face among you. It's been quite some time, Ellie. Indeed it has. I'm glad to see you're doing well, Your Lordship. Though I certainly didn't expect to see you here today. Are you perhaps performing an inspection of the hospital? Yes, indeed. Remiferia is one of St. Ursula's sponsors, you see. I also wanted the honor of meeting the lovely daughter Arias is always telling me about. Please, Your Lordship, the honor is mine. And I was asked to be his escort. Well, personally, I'd already traveled with a few more guards. Why he prefers to be accompanied by no more than myself and the chauffeur is beyond me. My confidence in you is just that high, Arias, my friend. Not to mention the security detail would only serve to interfere with the hospital's normal proceedings. His lordship seems popular. Not only does Arias know him, but Ellie too. You're right. From the sound of it, he and Dr. Sayland are also acquainted. Huh. Would have thought the Grand Prince of Remiferia was such a social butterfly. At any rate, know that you have my full support as well, SSS. Keep up the good work. We will, and thank you for saying so. Be careful on your way back to the State Guest House, Your Lordship. We do what we can to make your stay here a safe one during the conference. Haha, glad to hear it. In return, I do my best not to disappoint in the main session. It's my understanding that you've been staying here on account of your vision loss, is that right, Shizuku? You must have been through so much, but I hope you have just as much faith in the doctors here as I do. Though it may take some time, I know full recovery is possible, so long as you keep fighting and never give up hope. Yes, I won't. Thank you, Your Lordship. Well, this has been lovely. Next on the schedule will be checking up on my old pal, Saylant. It's been quite some time since I last saw her. I hope she's finding a new job to her liking. By the way, is Kia okay? She was acting a little strange today. Was she? I noticed that too, actually. She seemed to be spacing out. Did something happen during the unveiling ceremony? I'm not sure, and it might not be all that big a deal. But for some reason, Kia started acting strange after the unveiling. She just stood there staring. Maybe she was just speechless over how large the tower was? Oh, I guess that could have been it. I can't say for sure either way, but I keep what you said in mind. Kia's a good friend in you, Shizuku. Thanks for always thinking of her. You're welcome, but I'm sure I'm only worrying over nothing. Thank you for listening. Kia and I had a lot of fun at the unveiling ceremony today. If I really do get my eyesight back, I'd love to see Orcus Tower again. His Lordship insisted on meeting Shizuku. As a father, I'm flattered. I owe my thanks yet again. The janitor is downstairs, and the weather's so nice today. I bet the laundry's gonna dry in no time. This warm weather always makes me so sleepy, though. Maybe I take one of the sheets and wrap myself in it again. Really? The sun always feels so pleasant up here. I could sit back and bask in it forever. No way Maeve would suspect I'm taking another one of my naps, so yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Maeve so hard suspects this. Don't worry, I check you over head to toe with a super duper handy dandy x-ray machine. Is she giving a sleep checkup? Oh, it's my photo quartz broke. This floor belongs to our female staff. Don't tell anyone, but I always put a bit more love into sprucing up this floor than the boys. Just kidding, I put my back into cleaning every rag of this place. No exceptions. Whole lot of nothing. Prince Albert may still be young, but he's the bona fide head of Romaferia. I hear the people of the Principality love him too. He must be quite the man. By the way, Miko, we're sitting in one of Dr. Gailey's surgeries for tomorrow's class, right? Is this going to be your first time seeing a live operation? Yes, it is. And personally, I can't wait. It feels like I'm finally taking the first step toward becoming a real doctor. I didn't expect you'd be so enthusiastic. Well, just try to keep yourself together in there. Don't worry about me, Flora. All my studies have been leading up to this moment. I won't let you down. So this is going to be Miko's first time seeing a live surgery, is it? I guess we find out just how much he can stomach in the operating room. Okay, who else? Where else? We've been Mainz, Armorica, Bellguard. We've got to keep a tight lookout at the border for the duration of the conference. If anything were to happen while the dignitaries are in Crossbell, it could turn into an international incident. This is a monumental responsibility which the GF has on its shoulders. Our finest men and women are guarding the heads of state in Michelin. Each of them consistently performs well in live combat exercises, so the safety of the dignitaries is guaranteed. The wave was close to the public this morning. I suppose it's only to be expected, though, that what with the Eisengraph passing through. Gilliath Osborne of Erebonia will be attending the trade conference. They call him the Blood and Iron Chancellor. His alias comes from his motto: our nation's peace must be built on a foundation of blood and iron, on our troops and our armaments. Under his leadership, Erebonia hasn't shied away from annexing autonomous states by force. Without a doubt, he's the person that Crossbell has to be most cautious of. The security measures Commander Bales laid out for the conference are both sound and judicious. By allocating only as many capable personnel as are required, we won't have to compromise on protecting the borders either. Proper leadership like this would have never been possible under the former commander. I thought that if I racked up an impressive enough service record, maybe I too could be commander someday. But so long as Commander Bales is around, I can't see anyone ever surpassing her. Stella and I are officially an item, but I haven't been able to ask her out on a single date. Sure, the trade conference security stuff's taking up a lot of my time, but I've never been good at this sort of thing anyway. Shoot, I want to take things to the next level with her, I just don't know how. Class and I started seeing each other a while ago, just to give things a try. But weirdly enough, we're not acting any different than we did before we started dating. Is there really nothing more to it? Maybe it's just being in a relationship to begin with is the part guys care about? Honestly, I don't have much experience with this kind of stuff, so there could be something I'm missing. Maybe just being in a relationship to begin with is the part guys care about? No, but he has also no idea how to continue. I'm here to see that new skyscraper everyone's been talking about. Orcus Tower, what have you. What's it like, I wonder? I'm excited to find out. Oh please, it certainly can't be anything worth flocking over to gawk at. Still, Orcus Tower has been such a hot topic in the Empire, but I just have to see it for myself. The new armored cars have been in service for a while now, and dang are they cool. They've got powerful missile launchers and reinforced armor plating. Without a doubt, they have the CGF's most powerful weapons. They may not hold a candle to other countries' airships and tanks, but they still strike a good balance between form and function. My buddy Beryl is stationed over at Tangram Gate. He says they're getting worked into the ground every day with how strict the new deputy commander is. I think just about anyone would prefer that to having an incompetent superior officer though. Commander Bales is pretty strict herself, but I'd take her over our old commander any day. I saw a Crimson Orbital train pass under the gate this morning. It was the same one reserved for use by the Imperial government. Prince Oliver and the Blood and Iron Chancellor were likely on board. That means the trade conference has truly begun. I've got to stay sharp. Right, if Commander Bales is off, then Mireille will be here. If you're looking for Commander Bales, she's leading the security detail at Michelin for the day. The dignitaries will be staying at the state guest house, making it the focal point of our defense. So that means you're running the showy in place of a commander right now, huh? I don't know, can little Miss Wound officer really stand in for the great Commander Bales? Well, that was uncalled for. Regardless of your concerns, I used to do this all the time when the former commander was slacking. And I'll be perfectly fine in Commander Bales' presence too, you see. Ha! Keep up the energy and you might just pull through. I was often left in charge of Tangram Gate's operation. No, this is Bellguard Gate, but no matter. Under a former commander, and I'll be perfectly fine in Commander Bales' absence too, you see. Okay, and last but not least, the Police Academy.
どうしますか？目的地を選んでください。お安いご用です。お待たせしました。
Prison security is heavily revamped after the cult incident. Being overrun by the brainwashed CGF was inexcusable, even if they are an elite unit. That jailbreak is a black mark on the prison's honor and reputation. We're taking a number of precautions to ensure nothing like that ever happens again. Fishing spot. Before his promotion, Deputy Commander Douglas of the CGF was an instructor here at the Academy. He taught several training courses and often took it upon himself to help out with our survival training exercises as well. Believe me when I say this, the man is absolutely ruthless when he wants to be. I watched recruits drop like flies one after the other from his drills. Even now, just thinking about it sends a chill down my spine. That's his style though, he's the kind of leader that'll give the nicest smile in the world by demanding you move mountains for him. I see why they call him Douglas the Demon. I'm a little envious that you got to train with the Deputy Commander. Guardsmen often call him the CGF's Ray of Hope. It would have been nice to learn under him during my time as a cadet. I guess you have a point. I'm certainly grateful of how many times his lessons have helped me in an actual pinch. It's true, the Academy turned out many upstanding officers during his tenure as an instructor, Lloyd included. Selfish as it may sound, it made my heart ache to see him walk away from his position here. But I understand that his duty was to the CGF first and foremost. Plus it's hard to turn down a direct request from Commander Bales. We're going to have a lecture about Crossbell state law in this meeting room today. As an officer, just knowing the law isn't enough. You have to uphold and observe them yourself to lead by example. Makes sense? Okay, but I think I've been everywhere, right? I can't go to Michelin. I've been Boathouse, Armorica, Tangram, Mainz, Cathedral was yesterday. Bellguard, Ursula, yeah, I think we've been everywhere. Good, then I end this episode here. Until next time, when we play more Trails to Azure. I'm Mainz, and don't get lost.